In January 2026, fuel distributors in California began reporting tighter wholesale gasoline availability earlier than expected. This occurred without a major refinery outage or a sudden increase in driving demand. Instead, it coincided with longer-term changes in how fuel is produced and regulated within the state. I'm Charles Cox, and today we're examining why California's fuel supply is tightening and what the structure of the system helps explain. Gasoline availability is often discussed at the pump, but the conditions that determine supply are set much earlier. California produces most of its gasoline in-state and relies on a specialized fuel blend that differs from federal standards. This limits how easily fuel can be imported when local supply tightens. Industry data shows that California typically imports only a small share of its gasoline. As a result, in-state refinery capacity plays a central role in supply stability. When that capacity changes, the effects are felt across the system. Over the past several years, California's total refining capacity has gradually declined. Some facilities have reduced output, while others have announced conversions or planned exits. These changes did not create immediate shortages, but they reduced the system's buffer. With less excess capacity available, routine maintenance, seasonal adjustments, or small disruptions now have a larger impact than they once did. This reflects a structural shift rather than a short-term event. Each spring, California transitions to a summer gasoline blend with stricter emissions requirements. During this period, refineries adjust operations and inventories often decline temporarily. In a system with ample capacity, this transition is manageable. In a tighter system, the same transition increases volatility. Industry analysts note that recent wholesale tightening coincided with preparations for this seasonal change, which amplified its effects even before peak driving season began. Beyond physical capacity, regulatory compliance influences how refineries operate. Environmental standards, reporting requirements, and credit markets affect whether marginal production remains economical. Some operators respond by running units below maximum capacity or by accelerating long-term exit plans. These decisions reduce available supply without a single dramatic announcement. Researchers studying isolated fuel markets have observed that these pressures can compound gradually, making the system more sensitive over time. This supply tightening differs from the retail gas station closures discussed previously. Station closures reflect downstream business pressures such as margins, labor costs, and local demand. Fuel supply tightening occurs upstream before fuel reaches stations. A station may remain open even as wholesale availability becomes less predictable or prices become more volatile. These are connected but distinct parts of the same system. Not all facilities are reducing output. Some refineries have invested in efficiency improvements or adjusted operations to remain viable under current standards. In addition, fuel demand growth has moderated compared to earlier decades, which partially offsets capacity reductions. This suggests the system is adjusting, though with less flexibility than in the past. California's fuel supply is shaped by refinery capacity, regulatory structure, and seasonal requirements. Recent tightening reflects how these elements interact under constrained conditions, rather than a single triggering event. Whether this represents a temporary adjustment or a longer-term pattern will depend on how capacity decisions and fuel standards evolve. Have you noticed changes in fuel prices or availability in your area compared to last year?